And I hope that you're well. I hope that you've had a good weekend as well. So I'll just talk through the trade that I took this morning. Okay, so for those of you who don't understand the disruption model, if you haven't watched the previous breakdowns, then I suggest you do so because everything is step by step. Effectively, all we're waiting for is for price. So say we're in a bullish trend, all we're waiting for is for price to take out the low and then take out the high. What this does, it gives us intent followed by intent. Once we have that, we then have our POY, and we are looking for the exact same thing on our 1 second, or not 1 second, on our lower time frame, whichever time frame you wish to use. So effectively, we're waiting for some sort of bullish break, for example, here, and then the low to be taken, and then the high to be taken, and then that gives our entry point here for us to take forward. Okay, that's it. That's effectively it. So you're looking for the exact same thing on your base time frame and your confirmation time frame. This one was a little bit different because I would say it's got a little bit of discretion, but by now, because I've been doing it this way for a long time, a lot of you should understand that it's a higher risk style entry. If you are going to follow this way, to be fair. Okay, so what we had was, if you just follow the ranges, we had a high being created, which was, and then a new high being created, which was created by this low here. That low was then, it was taken out, so this gives us our first bearish intent, and then followed by bullish intent, and then this gives us our POY. Now the reason why I say it's high risk is because what's happened here. So what happened was, if we just go to here, this is effectively what happened. So price first tapped into the POY, and then it moved. I thought we were going to miss the trade. I thought price was just going to disappear and go, as it has done for the last few weeks. But price effectively came back down to take out the IM, because this was this was the last range that was formed. The IM was then taken out, and then we had this range from this low to this high. Now when this happened, all I need to wait for was a break of this high. Now, because this is already below the POY, normally if it's going to break, if it's just going to crash through, we should expect a full-on solid move down at this point. But that didn't happen. I just wanted to see if it does break, because generally if it does break that, it does give us a valid entry. But I just wanted to wait and see what happened. And this was still at the beginning of my session. I mean, I was only 7 minutes into my actual session. The only thing that I have highlighted here is that bearish POY from that 15 second, just to see what price does, if it does give us any pullback into this. If it does, I would have moved to break even quite quickly, but it didn't. It just crashed through. And then this is the difference between this and this, right? So this crashed through and then formed a new high, and then that I felt more confident because that's fully broken, whereas here it just formed that range and then it lingered. It didn't want to go. It didn't really show that it wants to go any lower. Anyway, once that happened, because this was a valid disruption, we end up taking the high. And now, effectively, what I could have done is what I have been doing is entering on the breakout, which would have given me, to be fair, it would have given me a 1 pip stop or so. But I thought that was quite tight, because the 1 pip would have been right at the bottom of that range, which I thought was a little bit too risky. And in fact, if I did that, I would have been taken out anyway. I wanted to wait for some sort of retracement. As soon as I saw this candle, I entered, and that's where my entry happened to be at that point. As soon as I saw this one tap into here, I pulled the trigger, and then I was in the trade at that point. And then it was the management style. So obviously my first partial point is to take out a partial at 10 pips, which at this point it was 20R, so I took a partial of 10R at that point, and then it's deciding what happens on the higher time frame. Is there any higher time frame potential? So looking at the hourly at this point, what I can see is that price didn't really take out this low, so I would expect it to go out to take out this high, because that's not even an OB, so price has a reason to take out this high at this point. So the reason, not the reasoning, the logic was there for price to take out that high basically. Once it took out that high, which it did, I don't know what it's doing now actually. Once it took out that high, I took another partial, so at that point it was about 30R. so I took a partial. I took a half partial of that, so it's 15R. And then what I have left now is just I've set a hard target, because what we have now is, if you see from what's happening here, we have this range from this low, which is effectively broken. And I know in fact what we have is obviously 4-hour POI all the way here. What I've done is just put it at this point, because that's the clearest point in terms of clearing that imbalance. Above here we don't really have too much like clear POIs to really use. So what I've done is I've just put it at this low, because that's what I would expect it to reach to at the minimum, to basically just clear that imbalance. If it doesn't hit, it doesn't matter. I've taken 25R. Let me see what price is doing anyway. Yeah, if it doesn't hit, it's not really a massive issue. That's the only thing that I can see that logically makes sense to me in terms of where price should reach. There's no, price is pretty efficient all the way up to here until we get to this point. So we'll see if it clears it. Ideally, we should probably aim for that, for this point here. But I put it to here just to, just to make sure I secure something else on this one. So I could take out that line there, and take out this one and this one and this one. So just to recap, effectively, all we're looking for is some sort of disruption to happen, okay? And then that disruption is successful by having intent followed by intent. So it's either bearish intent followed by bullish intent, or bullish intent followed. So if it was this way, we can have bullish intent followed by bearish intent, and that gives us that POI for there, POI for here. And we're looking for the exact same thing on our confirmation time frame when price comes back into the POI. It's as simple as that. And all you have to do after that is just management. But the thing is, I think the lack of appeal for this model is the fact that it's not really giving us many trades, which doesn't really bother me. It helps keep my win rate pretty high, but I think it can be a little bit tedious to follow. But anyway, I hope you all have a great week. I don't know if I'll do an outlook. I probably won't, because I don't think we need to. I might just do one next week, on next Monday. But I'll see what price action is doing this afternoon, and we'll go from there. But I hope you all have a great trading week. Trade safe and stick to the plan.